The BFI National Archive has always engaged and tried to acquire bits and pieces of online moving image, but this is the first project where we've done a deep dive, had a particular focus and resource to be able to kind of collect online moving image at scale.
The goals of this project were very ambitious. We wanted to significantly grow the collection of online moving image while also diversifying the voices of the creators in it, and also building the infrastructure for us to do that in. And it's also about transforming the way we look at copyright and rights, building towards the archive of the future.
So by online moving image, we mean all film works that were made for and distributed online, apart from anything that was put on any sort of subscription-based service like Netflix. So that's everything from early 1993 webcams to flash cartoons through to TikToks and everything you see on YouTube today.
We wanted to acquire 400 moving image works. We wanted to have a diverse range of creators and production companies, and that's what's really made it quite interesting and exciting.
Curatorially, I suppose, the objectives of this project has been an attempt to capture what the world of online moving image has brought to the wider story of filmmaking over its entire history. So that might mean hugely important cultural moments, that might mean things everyone would recognize. Or it might mean moments of change, so creators who have changed what is produced online and who have created forms that have gone on to become ubiquitous in our day-to-day lives.
Turn the side of your lens.
One of the universally recognised acquisitions we've got is Charlie Bit My Finger. This is part of early viral history from the beginnings of YouTube, where a simple family moment ended up connecting with millions of people online.
No, Charlie bit me.
It's not just a consideration of whether they're viral or not. For example, we've collected some how-to videos of how to put up a blackout curtain. Now, you know, this hasn't got millions of views, but it doesn't mean that it's not an important genre that's found on the internet that we wanted to represent. And it's just about being able to show a range of material and creators.
While making curatorial decisions for this project, we were concerned with artistic achievement, cultural impact, the representation of platforms and forms as well. And diversity was also key, so we were looking at representation across the UK, gender, and many other things like that.
Once a work has been identified as something that we wish to preserve, the first step is that we have to contact the person who created it. So this project is not a question of just sweeping the internet and taking things down and bringing them in for preservation. We have to go to the creator, we have to get them their participation in the project of preserving their work, and we have to ask them to send us the original file. This is the first part of the workflow and often the most challenging.
So basically, what I was thinking of was, I can't believe you've done this.
Especially when the work might have been made now, almost 30 years ago. It might not even be available online anymore. People have to dig through old hard drives, they have to look in their old cupboards on old laptops that might be pretty much defunct to try to find what they uploaded to a website in 2001. Once the file arrives at the archive, we go through a process of describing it, of creating metadata, giving it work history and genre terms and many other fields. And then we begin the process of quality control. So our digital media specialists will watch the file in full and assess it, see whether it's technically suitable for preservation, and most importantly, whether it matches what is online. So we are not operating on a hierarchy of technical quality. We are trying to find something that represents the viewer experience when they first saw this piece online. In this project, we've taken quite a collaborative approach, so we then go back to the donor again. We share with them that record, we make sure they're happy with how they're represented and how their work is represented. They can offer feedback and we can make changes. Once we're happy with the file, we store it, and we store it in our data storage solution, which consists of 2 robot-operated tape libraries. Both those tape libraries are different formats. And then we also store a 3rd copy on a site that's 50 miles away from there for disaster recovery. So these files are hopefully protected from any eventuality for the future of the archive.
The archive has needed to adapt in many ways to collect online moving image. We've had to think about new ways of working internally, creating new workflows, preservation routes, working with formats and stuff that is not familiar to the archive. And so kind of have brought in expertise externally but internally as well, sort of upskilled ourselves in areas that we haven't explored before.
So a big part of my role has been describing these works, and when you're describing them in the synopsis or in the work history, it's hard not to think about who you are describing them to and what are we preserving them for. So when I look at these works, I wonder if in 100 years someone's going to be coming to this collection and viewing these mid-2000s grime videos or these flash cartoons in the same way that we view the Edwardian crowd scenes of Mitchell and Kenyon. Are they going to be discovering these long after YouTube has gone the way of Vine and is no longer available on the internet?
It's important for the archive to update its collections and to bring it into the 21st century. And also, we often think everything on the internet is going to stay there forever, and we know that's not the case. So this is our attempt to preserve that memory for future generations.
I think there are actually similarities between sort of film and TV and online. Lots of colleagues have drawn sort of similarities between early silent film and the sort of online TikTok form, which can be very short and snappy and exciting. So there are things that are kind of traceable back to film and TV, but also online moving image is particularly unique and offers unique genres and forms, sort of fan films or ASMR or machinima or different genres that were born purely online.
From a technical standpoint, we've seen formats of digital film that we just have never seen before in the archive. We've seen video from early 2000s and in the 90s, which the size of the file is so small that it's difficult to really assess its quality in some ways. We've seen files from defunct formats that would never be used today, certainly, but even 10, 15 years ago might have already been very, very rare. So to preserve those, we need to sort of duplicate them, recreate them so they can be used on software. The equivalent would be to preserve a tape format, you also need the player that can play that tape. And to preserve a digital file, you need to be able to access that file. So those rarer pieces of digital media, which are also pieces of digital history, are now preserved in the archive but have been challenging.
I've had so much fun on this project. I've been able to reach out to some amazing production companies, but also thinking about web series like Charity Shop Sue, which was a viral hit.
You guys will be gone if you don't make an effort, okay? Only joking.
And was created by 3 queer creators speaking from their own experiences, and that was really wonderful. But also thinking about sort of advocates in the field. So somebody like Lucy Edwards, who was a really amazing disability advocate, and she talks about her experience of being blind online and how-tos, and just making these connections with the creators and being able to co-design these selections has just been really wonderful because it's such a wide range of material that we're looking at.
What interests me about this collection is how vast it is and how it represents the vastness of the internet and how intellectually challenging it's been to create a snapshot of that. It couldn't have been done without the help of colleagues, practitioners, creators, and members of the public as well. So it's been a real collaborative effort to get to this point. I
think one of the biggest lessons of this project has been for us as an archive to question a lot of our established ways of doing things and a lot of our established ideas about what makes something an important or venerable piece of moving image. You know, it's clear that a feature film that screens on a huge screen to millions of people around the world is something that's worth preserving. But when we see a video of someone putting up a curtain in their bedroom and teaching you how to do it, that is a piece of visual communication that might have been viewed millions of times in itself. That's culture, and it's moving image culture. And internally at the archive, we can see through this project the value of online moving image. And that's, I think, been a huge learning curve for us as professionals. Yeah.